Hey guys, and welcome to Ignite News. I'm your host, Sylvia Wasmer.
And I'm your host, Peter Sunday. Thanks for tuning in this morning. So let's get started. Congratulations to John Fox, head coach the Denver Broncos, for signing a new 3-year, $16.5 million contract. It was said that Fox had signed for a contract extension, but the paper was later ripped apart, causing him to sign a new contract. In the 3 years that he has been the Broncos head coach, the Broncos have won an AFC West each year, advancing them to an AFC Divisional Championship and finally to the Super Bowl this past season. This November, he had overcome a major heart operation that had led the Broncos to an appearance in the Super Bowl, but they lost 43-8 to the Seattles. Unfortunately, with having a reputation of being a coach and not knowing how to handle his team completely, some people have questioned whether Fox deserves an extended contract. We wish John Fox and the Broncos luck in the next 3 years of competition.
Toronto's Chief Medical Officer of Health says we're in the midst of a measles outbreak. There are currently 11 reported cases of measles in the province. The most recent cluster of infection began to spread in Hamilton in the last couple of weeks. Public health departments call it an outbreak even if it's just one person infected with the measles. That's because North America has been free of naturally occurring measles since 1998. It's frequent traveling that brings measles to Canada. An unidentified Hamilton man traveled to the Philippines last month and became infected with it. He went to the health facility and it was there that an unidentified Hamilton woman also became infected with the highly contagious disease. A Walmart on Highway 5 near Clapperson's Corner is one of the several places an infected person visited and may have unknowingly spread the disease. She also visited the Sky Zone indoor trampoline park in Mississauga and the Queen's Head in Burlington. One other person has been infected in Halton region as well. It's alarming to public health officials because measles continues to kill 1 in 3,000 people who become infected. Public health officials urge parents to immunize their children with what they describe as a safe and 95% effective vaccination. Officials say Canada's public health system is considered strong with regards to measles, but issues can arise when people travel abroad. Now over to Stevens with today's Tech Talk.
Welcome to Tech Talk. My name is Steven Solfe. Today in Tech Talk, we'll be exploring the ePortfolio world, which is recently a program launched by the college. About this matter, we sat down with the president of the MSc, Ryan Shaw, to have a better understanding about the ePortfolio.
The ePortfolio is it's a lot like a Facebook, LinkedIn combination, focused on professional development. So it gets the creativity of Facebook, but it has the professionalism and focus of your accomplishments the way LinkedIn does. Any student could easily go to LinkedIn or Facebook or this and that, but I don't think any of those platforms are really designed to take on your career path through Mohawk. And when I say career path, I mean like your journey through Mohawk. This is specific to each student. It provides opportunity to not only show the culture at Mohawk, but what did you do while you were here? And so it not only is it an opportunity to put in their lap, but it will help them build their foundations moving forward past Mohawk.
With this program launched recently by the college, how many students are aware of it?
It's a place where students can go and post the work that they've done. They can post their resume onto it and just have kind of a portfolio of all their accomplishments online so that when professors or employers look them up, that information's all there online.
I think it is a really helpful tool as opposed to a physical resume because it's a lot easier to send out, it's a lot easier for people to look at.
The ePortfolio program is an opportunity for students to showcase their achievement in a professional manner. For further information, you can go to mohawkcollege.ca. Now, signing off, Steven Solfe for Mohawk College.
Another court date has been set for a St. Catharines woman who pleaded guilty to faking terminal cancer in order to defraud a senior citizen out of her life savings. The Crown wants the court to throw out 39-year-old Michelle Mead's guilty plea from last year. He says when Mead showed up for sentencing in December, her pre-sentence report made it clear that she did not take responsibility for the fraud and blamed others for pushing her into the plea. 78-year-old Jean Boussard befriended Mead in 2007 when she was dating her grandson. Mead told Boussard she was dying of brain cancer and needed money for treatment. The Crown says Mead swindled more than $100,000 over the next few years. Boussard is now in danger of losing her house. The case comes back to July 18th. If the plea is thrown out, the trial starts again from the beginning. If it's not thrown out, the court will proceed with sentencing.
A Chinese ship searching for the missing Malaysian airline plane in the southern Indian Ocean has been able to pick up a signal in the waters just west of Perth, near where investigators believe Malaysian airline MH370 went down March 8. Chinese media says the signal has a frequency of 375 Hz, the same as those emitted by the flight recorder. However, there is no evidence so far that it's linked to the MH370. Dozens of ships and planes have joined the search within the operation, moving into its most intensive phase before batteries on the data recorder fades. We are treating each of them seriously. We need to ensure before we leave any of those areas that this does not have any connection with the MH370, retired Air Chief Marshal August Houston told the media conference in Perth. Authorities have not ruled out mechanical problems as the cause of the plane's disappearance, but the evidence suggests that this was deliberately diverted. Over to Aiden for this week's entertainment.
Hey everyone, we all know that summer is quickly approaching. So what better way to start off summer than to go sit in a hot theater with buttery popcorn and catch one of the newest flicks. On May 2nd, make sure to be in the theater to catch the new Amazing Spider-Man in 3D, 2D, or even the Amazing IMAX 3D experience. In the sequel, Peter Parker meets up with his pal Harry Osborn but hides his identity. Harry reveals that Oscorp has Peter under surveillance and finds out it is Oscorp who wanted to use his father's research, coming to realize that nothing is what it was. Another movie to look out for this summer is Maleficent, being released May 30th. The film centers around Maleficent, the evil fairy who cursed Aurora in Sleeping Beauty. She once was a beautiful woman growing up peacefully. After being betrayed, her once pure heart turns to stone, craving revenge, and decides to curse the beautiful Princess Aurora, and, well, you know the rest. Finally, on May 23rd, don't miss out on the new X-Men movie, Days of Future Past. Let's take a look.
So many battles waged over the years, and yet none of them like this. Are we destined to destroy each other? Or can we change who we are and unite? Is the future truly set? X-Men, Days of Future Past.
Todd Epps, an American hip-hop recording artist better known as 2 Chainz, is being charged with a felony drug possession 10 months after being arrested at the Los Angeles airport for possession of codeine, a main ingredient in syrup, a crime punishable for up to 3 years in prison. On June 11, the 36-year-old rapper was arrested for marijuana as he was about to board a plane at LAX. He had less than an ounce on him in person, but the police has also found a bottle of codeine in his check bag. Later that summer, police pulled his tour bus over, suspecting drug use. He later went on Rap Fix Live to air his frustration about the arrest. "You're not going to find a killer on my bus. You're not going to find an unregistered reason," he said. "I went to work all last year. I paid taxes. I did everything I was supposed to do. So maybe people need to start aiming at some criminals. For me, I'm cold turkey on all criminal activities. I don't want to do anything criminal. It's just about wasting your time, my time, and taxpayers' money." He's scheduled to have within the next week.
In other news, after 9 long seasons, How I Met Your Mother has come to an end. With the series finale full of twists and turns, dissatisfied fans are campaigning for a new ending after the finale aired last Monday. Despite earning a series-high rating of 12.9 million viewers, the final episode of the popular sitcom proved to be polarizing for fans, as a number of plot twists left viewers stunned by the show's conclusion. Shortly after the finale aired, devoted fans started a petition on Change.org demanding co-creators Carter Bays and Craig Thomas to rewrite and reshoot the episode, simply stating, "You know it's just wrong." More than 6,725 fans from around the world had signed the plea as World Entertainment News Network went to press. How I Met Your Mother has such a committed fan base that there is a fan-made alternate ending that cuts out the controversial finale that has fans so upset. Now let's go to Julie Hoffman for today's Green Talk.
Hey guys, I'm Julie, and for this week's Green Talk, we talked to students about what they did to help save the environment for Earth Hour that just passed this Saturday. Let's take a look. Hey fellow students, I'm here at Mohawk College campus, and we're inviting you to go green and take part in Earth Day, Tuesday, April 22nd, for the second annual Environmental Summit hosted at our college. Also, we're going to be talking to students about Earth Hour that just passed March 29th from 8:30 to 9:30, and see what they did in order to contribute to the Earth Hour event. So what did you do on Earth Hour this past Saturday?
To be honest, I didn't participate in Earth Hour. I was actually in Ottawa for a volleyball commitment, so I was unable to participate, but if I could, I totally would.
Okay, so what did you do on Earth Hour this past Saturday?
Just hung out with my girlfriend. We played a board game, lit some candles, had a dinner. It was cute. It was nice.
Okay, so what did you do for Earth Hour, and what are you doing to contribute to help our environment?
So for Earth Hour, I just shut off all my lights at the store and at my house. And for the environment, I'm trying to off all these crummy polyester made out of clothes, and I'm trying to get in more eco-friendly names, like names that are made with bamboo, hemp, recycled fabrics. I also, if you want to bring in your old clothes to my store.
Well, there you have it, Mohawk. Some people participated and some people didn't. As long as we put in a little bit of effort, we can help save the planet. Also, don't forget to come out and discuss your input for the long-term development plan for the city of Hamilton. That's it for Green Talk. I'm Julie Hoffman. Back to you in the studio.
A volcano just south of Ecuador capital Quito erupted this past Friday, creating a spectacular plume of ash. The Tangaral volcano created a huge cloud on Friday in an eruption that lasted just 5 minutes and rose to be about 10 kilometers, 6 miles high. The volcano has been erupting since 1999, but more often in the past few years. In 2006, a toxic cloud killed 4 people and left 2 missing. Ecuador's Geophysics Institute said that the blast was followed by a second 4-minute explosion and then 5 lesser tremors soon after. Tongaray is one of the 8 active volcanoes in Ecuador, which lies in the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire, naming the volcano the Throat of Fire.
Ontario's NDP MPP Sherry DeNovo wants the province to say no to Russian-made vodka. DeNovo tabled a motion at Queen's Park Thursday to suspend the sale of Russian standard vodka in LCBO stores to protest Russian actions in Crimea. It's the only vodka that's made and is entirely Russian, she said. This request comes from the Canadian-Ukrainian Congress and Ukrainians across Ontario. A YouTube video posted by members of the Ukrainian community in Toronto show them protesting in front of a Bloor Street West LCBO store last month, asking for a ban on Russian vodka. DeNovo said suspending the sale of this product at LCBO stores would send a signal of support and solidarity to the 350,000 Ukrainians who call Ontario home. The Parkdale High Park MPP said her motion is aimed strictly at Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has taken over Crimea. There's nothing anti-Russian about this, she said. If the Ontario legislature supports the motion, then the LCBO would be ordered to suspend sales of Russian-made vodka until the crisis in the Ukraine is over, she said. Premier Kathleen Wynne has already made public comments expressing concerns about the violence and indicated her support of the Ukrainian community. The legislator has yet to schedule a vote on DeNovo's motions. Now let's check out this week's MLink.
My name is Brad Cole. I am studying the one-year program of pre-media and entertainment at Mohawk College. I come from a small town, only a couple thousand people. I'm a really big sports fan. This year has really opened my eyes in a lot of different aspects. Like there's a lot of things that I haven't learned, a couple things that have been repetitive, but through the most part, a lot of it has been new information, and I'm really happy with my experience here, and I really enjoy all the teachers, all the profs, all the learning experiences. Everything is just great. They're really teaching me mainly how to set up for oncoming other programs, like such as the TV radio broadcasting or TV communication broadcasting here at Mohawk. They really tell you how and what to look forward to, and teaching you what you should do to excel in those programs. I really enjoy this program personally, and I would highly recommend it to anyone due to the amazing school itself, and having the open arms from all the professors. Everything are willing to help you out, and being in a one-year certificate class, it kind of gives you an opportunity to further pursue in depth of how you can get into other programs and possibly move on further with your post-secondary education. I would really recommend Mohawk. It's a friendly school, it's an open school. A lot of teachers are come in with open arms. They are not shy of giving you information and other information about further experiences outside of post-secondary. And as for pre-media, it's a really great eye-opener. It really gives you a lot of information on what to look forward to, and it's really highly recommended.
Medical marijuana users say Ottawa is trying to take away their God-given right to grow cannabis to relieve pain symptoms. Groups opposed to the federal government's new medical marijuana regulations, which go into effect Tuesday, are protesting on Parliament Hill. The demonstration comes one day after Ottawa said it would challenge a federal court injunction that allows medical users to continue growing their own pot pending a constitutional challenge of the new rules. The new regulations require marijuana users to receive their supply from commercial growers and also limit the amount that individuals are allowed to possess. Critics say the new rule will simply make it harder for them to access a drug many of them insist they can't live without. Alison Mearden, who suffers from chronic progressive multiple sclerosis, says she relies on medical pot every single day. Mearden says the new regulations would mean a substantial increase in the cost of the drug and potentially create supply problems as well. It is unclear when the federal appeal of the injunction will be heard. If the government ultimately fails to overturn the federal court decision, it will leave the path clear for the constitutional challenge. As a result, the matter could be tied up in the courts for many months to come. The number of people authorized to possess and frequently grow marijuana under the old federal program climbed to 37,000 this year, from fewer than 100 in 2001.
Jennifer Lopez has teamed up with French Montana to bring you the video for her latest single, I Love You Papi, of her latest album. The single is out just in time for summer. The video offers a refreshing angle on sexual objectification, starting with her and a girlfriend going over plans for the video. Why do men always objectify the women in every single video? Saying one of her pals. Why can't we for once objectify the men? The video is a shot of a stereotypical male R&B video, but the gender are flipped. Men in nothing but Speedos, while the women are being fed by the pool. This video has shocked many worldwide, but is also one of the most popular music videos this year.
A U.S. production company has approached Mayor Rob Ford about creating a reality TV show, according to a published report. The Globe and Mail reported that Ford was contacted by Pilgrim Studios, which produces American Chopper and Wicked Tuna, during a visit to Los Angeles last month. The mayor was there to appear on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. The report cited an email from a studio executive to the mayor's spokesman, Amin Masoudi, but Ford's chief of staff told the papers Friday he didn't know about the request and didn't know if a meeting occurred. Ford's brother Doug has said he and the mayor have been contacted by production houses in the U.S. about doing a reality show, everyone from Oprah to Dr. Phil. The mayor has been in the spotlight ever since he admitted to smoking crack while in office during one of his drunken stupors. Over to Brian with this week's Jock Talk.
The NHL regular season is quickly ending, and that can only mean one thing: the beginning of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Going into the weekend, 4 teams are tied for the final 2 spots in the East, while over in the West, the chase is on and time is dwindling. Now let's start with a look at the East standings.
Boston has secured the Conference and Atlantic Division, with Montreal and Tampa Bay all but assured for a first-round matchup. Pittsburgh has locked up the Metropolitan, but New York, Philadelphia, and Columbus can all claim division spots. Wildcard chase is still on, with 5 teams in the running. Toronto is on the outside looking in, so we asked around about the Leafs' playoff hopes.
They have a pretty good chance because the East Conference is pretty weak this year.
It'd be really nice to see them in the playoffs, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
I think they're pretty slim right now as they're not playing too well.
Opinions may vary on who is going to make it in the East, but in the West, it's a little more clear-cut. Now, let's take a look at the Western standings.
In the Central, it looks as if St. Louis will claim the division, and Chicago will be playing Colorado. The Pacific Division sees a fight for top spot between Anaheim and San Jose, with Los Angeles playing the loser. Minnesota almost has a wildcard spot locked up, while Dallas is battling Phoenix for the other. We asked people who they thought will win the Stanley Cup this year.
I would like to say the Habs because they're my favorite team, but I'm probably going to go with the Blues.
It'll be a toss-up between LA and Boston, as much as I hate to say that.
Boston being my favorite team, I'm obviously rooting for them.
Excitement is in the air, and no one, not even this reporter, can wait for the show to begin. With only 2 weeks remaining until the end of the season, we can look forward to some high-quality hockey on the horizon. This is Brian Costi for Ignite News. Back to you.
The Toronto Raptors hope to move closer to an Atlantic Division title and the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference when they visit the Milwaukee Bucks Saturday at the Bradley Center. The Raptors are 2-1-2 games ahead of Brooklyn Nets in the division standing, with 6 to go and even with the Chicago Bulls on number 3 spot in the East. Toronto defeated one of the NBA finest, the Indiana Pacers, Friday night by a 102-95 score at the Air Canada Center thanks to Terrence Ross, 24 points. Jonas Valanciunas had 22 points, and DeMar DeRozan chipped in at 20 points and 9 assists for the Raptors, winners in 2 straight and 5 of the 6 games. The Raptors played without point guard Kyle Lowry, who missed his 2nd straight game with a bruised left kneecap. Forward Amir Johnson was also out with a sore ankle that forced him to leave Wednesday wins over Houston after the 3 minutes. We have to prepare like there's not going to be, said coach Dwayne Casey. We have to prepare to make plans with the people that are healthy and are going to be able to play.
Councillor Mark Grimes wants to look at whether the City of Toronto can score the 2026 World Cup. Grimes will ask Council Wednesday afternoon to order staff to study co-hosting the 2026 FIFA and the U.S. within 1 day's drive of Toronto. The motion also asks staff to look at finding sponsorship to have a live broadcast on July 13th in Nathan Phillips Square of the 2014 World Cup Finals match in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. World Cup 2026 could be aiming to North America, I hear. Grimes told The Sun, "We're going to do some exploratory work. Let's explore it. Let's see what can happen." Grimes argued showing the 2014 World Cup final in Nathan Phillips Square would be awesome and help create some hype for the 2015 Toronto Pan Am Games.
An uphill battle for a postseason spot just turned into a sharp incline for the Toronto Maple Leafs following word that goaltender Jonathan Bernal will miss at least the next 3 weeks of action. The Maple Leafs will need to make a playoffs to give Bernal a chance to return this season. Toronto has won back-to-back games following an 0-8-0 skid that dealt a near-fatal blow to the playoff chance. Even with the 2 wins, the Maple Leafs are still on a point behind the Columbus Blue Jackets for the 2nd wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Toronto, though, has 4 games left on the schedule compared to 5 for the Columbus Bernal, wouldn't play in any of those 4 games after suffering an MCL sprain Thursday 4-3 over victory against the Boston Bruins. He was hurt near the midway point of the 3rd period after Toronto defenseman Paul Ranger checked Boston into Brenner. We wish him a speedy recovery. Let's head over to Julie Huffman for the weather this week.
Good morning, Mohawk. I'm Julie Hoffman, and here is your weather forecast for today, Monday, April 7th. So we're going to start off on Monday today, which is a high of 10 and a low of 5 with some increased clouds in the afternoon, so don't forget to bring an umbrella this afternoon. Tuesday, we have a high of 7 and a low of 1. Wednesday is a beautiful high of 16 and a low of 10. Thursday, we have a high of 16 as well and a low of 12, so keep your shorts and shirts on because this weekend is going to be absolutely beautiful with a high of 10 and a high of 16 and a high of 16 as well on Saturday and Sunday. So if you're going to go for a hike, picnic, or walk, I highly suggest to do it this weekend. And that's it for our weather this week. Back to you guys in the studio.
On Friday morning, the first two ships of the season pulled into Hamilton Harbor. The Radcliffe R. Latimer and the Algoma Guardian delivered cargo of iron ore that will be used for steelmaking. The vessels arrived in Hamilton from Port Cartier, Quebec. The St. Lawrence Seaway shipping season is delayed this year after one of the harshest winters caused about 90% of the Great Lakes to be covered in ice. Although Lake Ontario has less ice than the other Great Lakes, the ice is more than half a meter thick. In some spots on the other Great Lakes, it's stacked up to 1.5 meters thick. The Canadian Coast Guard says icebreakers are working to clear routes for the ships.
Could it be that couples that vacation together get back together? Following a family trip to Thailand, Kris and Bruce Jenner were spotted looking more like husband and wife rather than a couple who have been separated for 5 months. The couples who have been married for more than 22 years were seen holding hands and smiling at Los Angeles International Airport on Wednesday, April 2nd, as they arrived home from their week-long Southeast Asia adventure. Kris and Bruce announced the separation back in October 2013, stating that although they were ending their marriage, they were not ending their friendship, and that the couples was happy of being apart. During the recent season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Bruce moved out of his family's home into his rented place in Malibu, California, immediately sparking rumors of the separation, which they later confirmed.
We have a heartwarming update to a repulsive story of animal cruelty. At the end of October, 4 kittens were found dumped inside a clothing donation bin outside a St. Catharines grocery store. 2 were found meowing by a passerby. The others were discovered wrapped in a garbage bag by an employee of the company that empties the bin. The kittens were just days old when they were rescued. If they hadn't been found so quickly, there was a very good chance they would have suffocated under the weight of the clothes. Textile Waste Division's Director of Business Development, Daniela Sigia, says, had even one family made an average donation, which is usually 3 to 5 bags, that could have been fatal for all 4 of those cats. The company that manages the bins, Textile Waste Diversions, was so horrified by the act of cruelty, they decided to help the Lincoln County Humane Society transition the cats to new homes. Miriam Gracie's family from Stony Creek adopted Frodo and Elphaba. They came home with a litter pan, food, litter, and some toys, all donated by Textile Waste Diversions. The kittens visited their headquarters to say thank you. Now let's go to Brendan for some U Talk. I thought that was just a cute Ethan one, wasn't it?
When third-year Mohawk student Ian Flynn is textbooks, he's hitting the stage.
Ian Flynn, a third-year student at Mohawk, plays in the band Prophets, a hardcore band based out of Hamilton, Ontario.
I'm Ian Flynn. I'm the vocalist of Prophets, and I'm a third-year student here at Mohawk College.
Prophets has been a band for almost 6 years now, and have come a long way since their start.
Well, basically we started in roughly around 2009. Originally it was myself, our guitar player Ben, Marty, and an original drummer, and we were playing cover songs and stuff like that.
Prophets was probably the very first band that I actually, in the scene, that was one of the scenes that I actually went to, all their shows and stuff like that.
I think they're really sick. I don't know, they're cool dudes. Yeah, man, they rock.
So how does Flynn balance school life and the band?
It's definitely hard because I'm in an internship right now, so it's been quite hectic and trying. These past few years haven't been too bad. Like the workload isn't too crazy that I'm able to manage. So there's times when it's definitely like there's that moral dilemma between, hey, should I play this show tonight, or hey, should I get this essay done, or do any sort of work.
So what does the future look like for Prophets?
Future plans, just hoping to tour as much as possible. Right now we're writing some new material and hopefully trying to put out a new record within the next 6 to 8 months.
That's it for U Talk this week. Back to you, Peter and Sylvia.
Proving that loud tracks sitcom just won't die, The Big Bang Theory has set an all-new record after it was renewed for 3 more seasons, the longest single renewal of a television show. 7 seasons in, the show is enjoying its highest ever rating, doubling the viewership of its first season, What matters next is how the Big Bang Theory keeps its audience tuned in without changing the show drastically. With the climbing amount of viewers in the past 7 years, beginning with approximately 8.31 million people, and soon rising to 18.68 million people this past year, it's safe to say the Big Bang Theory is not going anywhere soon. More shows that are coming up past the 7th season now are Grey Anatomy, that now has 10 seasons, 2.5 Men with 11 seasons, and South Park with 17 known seasons.
Starbucks issued an apology after a barista served a Louisiana schoolteacher a pair of lattes with the pentagram and the number 666 scrawled in caramel drizzle on the foam. The victim, Megan Pinion, took it to Facebook saying, "Unfortunately, I can't give the young man's name who served it because I was so appalled that I could not bring myself to look at him." Pinion said the pentagram was almost okay because it resembles the Starbucks logo, but the 666 is quite offensive. Starbucks spokesman Tim Kuhn apologized for what the Daily Advertiser newspaper has dubbed the brouhaha. He says, "We reached out to her through social media and apologized. We're taking the complaint seriously. We're not sure who served her or what kind of beverage it was," he told the Advertiser. "This obviously is not the type of experience Starbucks wants to provide any of their customers and is not representative of the customer service their partners provide to millions of customers every day."
That's all we got for you guys today. Tune in next time for some more Ignite News. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Sunday.
And I'm Sylvia Wasmer. Have a good afternoon, Mohawk.